Hi guys, welcome to Adam McKola TV. I'm Adam. This is a preview for Manchester United's trip to Vicarage Road to take on Watford. We've only lost against Watford once in 31 years. But that came under Jose Mourinho last season at Vicarage Road in a 3-1 defeat. United start a tricky week ahead. Well, it's a tricky few weeks ahead. Let's be honest. Our next three Premier League fixtures are Watford away, Arsenal away, and then we've got Manchester City at home, and that's with CSKA Moscow in between the Arsenal and City games. So we've got a tricky few weeks ahead, and we need to start it with a win. We need to keep the winning run going as well after victories over Newcastle and Brighton. And it's a big game for Manchester United. Marco Silva's side, have been playing very well this season. Their last two games they've won. They have lost 3 of their last 5 games though. So they're in hit and miss form, but their last 2 games would have given them confidence. How are you guys feeling ahead of this game? Keep your comments coming in, and whether you're watching this live or you're watching this back later, thank you for tuning in to Adam McKola TV. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and getting involved with the channel. Guys, how you doing, man? I'm going to dive into the comments very soon as well, so make sure you're keeping it locked. Let me just head over to the comments section right about now, actually. Here we are then. We've got... So here we go. We've got over 100 people in at the moment. We've got Ines, Mandy, Levi, Anthony, Amarpreet, Steve, DJ, and loads of others in the comments as well. How many changes do you think Jose will have to make, says Jake. Now, in the last 2 games, we've played the same team in both games. And that's been obviously David De Gea in goal, Valencia and Young as the fullbacks, Smalling and Lindelof at the heart of the defence. In the midfield, we've had Matic, Pogba, Mata ahead of them, Martial, Rashford and Lukaku. That's been the team that we've played in the last couple of games, and I do think Jose Mourinho will change things up a little bit. For once, for first things first, we're away from home this time, so we can't play the same kind of team that we can play against Newcastle or Brighton at home. Marco Silva will have Watford very well tactically drilled, very well organised, and they've got some very good players as well. So United will have to keep an eye on the back door as well as trying to score some goals against them. Against Newcastle and Brighton, we were pretty much on the front foot for most of the game. Valencia and Young spent most of the game in Brighton's half on Saturday. So it's a different kind of game. So I think Jose Mourinho will be making a couple of changes. I don't think Rashford and Martial will start together in this game. I think we'll see a different kind of lineup and maybe 3 midfielders as well. So there are a few changes Jose Mourinho could make. John Cap wants to see Herrera brought into the team. And I think, as I said, I think we'll go with a midfield 3. Whether that's Herrera or Fellaini that comes in. Obviously, we're playing Matic and Pogba. And you'd like to think those 2 are going to play again in this game. Obviously, Paul Pogba played 90 minutes in the last game against Brighton. Whether he completes the full 90 in this game, I'm not too sure. It obviously depends on how the results go in as well. It'd be nice if we could take him off with 20 minutes to go with the Arsenal game coming up. But it depends on the result, and we'd have to play well to get this result wrapped up early doors. I do think we could see Herrera come in, although I think Fellaini is more likely. Herrera's form hasn't been great. Fellaini, before his injury, has been in form, so you'd think Fellaini is the form player. Although I'm not writing Ander Herrera off. That's not me writing Ander Herrera off. You guys know I absolutely adore Ander Herrera, and I want him to play. I want him to be in form. I want him to start games, and I wouldn't mind him starting tomorrow. There's a lot of reasons why we would start Ander Herrera over Fellaini, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him start either. Ines says he wants to see Fellaini. Zlatan in the starting 11. That is obviously another talking point as well. Nithayan, thank you for your question and your comment. We have got over 140 people watching, so click that like button and make sure you subscribe. And if you're not subscribed, we're very close to 43,000 subscribers. Can we hit that today? I can only do that with your help. So hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. As I was saying, will Zlatan Ibrahimovic start? That's a big question for Manchester United. Now, I will show you my predicted lineup a little bit later in this video. So, of course, you'll get to see that. And I want to see you guys getting your comments in as well. I want to hear your thoughts on whether we'll see Zlatan start. Will Zlatan start? Is he in your starting 11? So get them comments coming in as well. If you're watching live, get them in the live chat. If you're watching this after we're live, get it in the comments below. So will Zlatan start? Now I wouldn't be surprised. He's played 3 games from the substitutes bench. He's looked like he's fit. He hasn't looked like he's been, unfit or lacking sharpness. He's been passing, he's moving. Of course, he's not going to be fully at the races yet. It was a big injury that he's coming back from. But what I enjoyed seeing, at the weekend, and I know this is a little bit weird because you don't like to see this happen, but at the same time, it's pretty good for him, was that he got clattered a few times when he come on. Brighton players were going in for the challenges and clattering, man. And Zlatan took a few challenges and he's ridden them. He's got up and he's been fine. Same in the Newcastle game, he took a few. I can't remember the Basel game. I've written that game out of my memory. It was so poor. But he's taken some hard challenges in these games, and that's good to see as well. His first shot since the return was on a crazy volley. So it's nice to see him, he's not thinking about his knee or he's not thinking about his injury when he's playing football, as you would expect some players might do coming back from an injury like that. But you'd never expect Zlatan Ibrahimovic's ego or confidence to take a hit. It's whether he can get up to speed with things in terms of match fitness and sharpness. Now, Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming into the team, I wouldn't mind seeing him start, to be totally honest. There is the option there. If we don't go with Fellaini or Herrera coming in, we could replace Mata with Zlatan Ibrahimovic in that position there, which would allow us to have a little bit more physicality about us, somebody that can win the aerial battles a little bit deeper from Romelu Lukaku, would allow Romelu Lukaku to run off obviously the flick-ons as well. When you look at the way Watford set up, they've got a pretty compact midfield there sitting in front of their defence. So if you think you can get Zlatan Ibrahimovic occupying that midfield with his height, with his physicality, with his strength and with his aerial ability and his ability to bring the ball down as well, hold people off, and then get Romelu Lukaku and maybe one of Martial or Rashford or Lingard or Mkhitaryan or whoever on the right stretching the defence and stretching the back four off them, that would allow us to not have such a congested midfield. But we could go with an extra man in midfield as well. And I think we have been calling out for that in recent weeks when we've seen a dip in form and a dip in performances. But obviously in the home games against the likes of Brighton and Newcastle, we've not had to worry too much about the old defence. We need to expose their midfield, says John Speedy. We're not winning, says Paul Pogba. Obviously not the real one. Zlatan's presence makes the team play even better, says Tom Wickens. And then he's deleted it because he spelled Zlatan wrong. Don't worry, mate. I know what you're trying to say, and I will read your comment out if you make a spelling mistake. Can't bench Lukaku. He needs to work his way out of this slump, says Ant. Now, first of all, talking about Romelu Lukaku, we have to mention when we speak about Romelu Lukaku, the action that the FA were apparently going to take today. We were hearing news that the FA were going to ban him, etc., etc. Thankfully, he hasn't received a ban for apparently kicking out at the Brighton player. He looked to have taken a swing, but he didn't hit anybody, and it would have been harsh to get a 3-match ban for that. I know you can get done for intent, but thankfully, he's not been done. Interesting to see the reaction to it, but it's great news for Manchester United now. I've seen some United fans here saying, Romelu Lukaku being out, it was going to be good for us, this, that and the other. He doesn't perform in big games, etc., etc. So who cares if he's out for Arsenal and City? What a bunch of muppets. Seriously, what a bunch of muppets. He's our top goal scorer this season. We need Romelu Lukaku. And when you look at the work that he did against Brighton at the weekend, Jose Mourinho mentioned it in his post-match press conference as well. And when you look at the work that he did off the ball, he was absolutely fantastic. I think dropping deep, his possession play was a lot better. Linking up with players was a lot better. Defensively, he was tracking back, working hard, making sure he got the tackles, and United held on to a 1-0 victory. So I think some of the criticism of Romelu Lukaku has been unfair. Of course, he has missed a few chances, but nevertheless, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was missing chances for United left, right and centre last season. And because United's dip in form has come with a dip in form for Lukaku, it one shows how important he is to us, and that we shouldn't be just, let's disregard Romelu Lukaku. And two, that we need to help him out a little bit more. In a lot of those games where he hasn't performed or hasn't scored, he hasn't had much service. We have to be honest with ourselves. It's been in games where maybe Paul Pogba's been missing and he hasn't had the service or the link-up play to get the goals and the chances that we've needed. So it's not all being his fault. Of course, he has to take on some responsibility for his form and you'd like to think he can play his way out of it. But I think it's unfair the way some people are going on about Romelu Lukaku, and I think we just need to lay off him a little bit. He's still a very young player. His first season at a proper big club with a whole lot of pressure on his shoulders. Let's ease off him a little bit. And when you look at the start Manchester United have made to the Premier League, we've made a very good start to the Premier League campaign. Defeat against Huddersfield wasn't ideal. It wasn't what we wanted to see. And you'd like to think if we played that game another 9 times out of 10, we'd win it. So I think that was a disappointing performance and a result. Liverpool, Chelsea, we didn't get results there. Fair enough. I understand. But overall, we've made a very good start to the season. We're going through in the Champions League, top of our group. We're sitting second in the league. When you look at where we were last season and where we are now, we've made a lot of improvements. And if it wasn't for the form of Manchester City, who have been absolutely fantastic this season so far, pains me to say it, but you have to say it, then I don't think people would be overacting so much about Manchester United. Now, of course, the aim is to win the league title, but it's a long fucking season. Manchester City are in form right now. United have hit a little bit of a patch. We need to get going this week and next week as well with Man City coming at home. But we've got players back now from injury. We've got a manager that hopefully will be able to tactically do a job against these teams and get a result. And we're getting big players back like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, like Rojo. Bailey's hopefully going to be back for this game. So I think we all need to relax a little bit. But it is a big week for Manchester United. And we need to get 2 wins. That's the ideal. Obviously, you'd take 4 points. Sorry, we need to get 2 wins, 6 points. You'd take 4 points out of these 2 games. But we need to get 6 points out of these 2 games. And we'll go into that Man City game confident on the back of 4 victories, looking to get another win under our belt. So big games ahead for United this week. But it's not all as doom and gloom as some people would like to make out. And I think we've definitely got to push on and hopefully get some confidence boosting wins this week and then go into that City game looking to close the gap a little bit. Blush is feeling confident and he says we're going to win against all 3 of them, so he's expecting 9 points. Now here's a good question for you guys. Get your comments in below on who you think, how much points you think Manchester United will get in the next 3 games in the league. So not the CSKA Moscow game, Watford, Arsenal, Manchester City. How many points do you think Manchester United will get this coming few weeks? Get your comments in below. Make sure you're banging that like button. We've got close to 200 people watching and we've got close to 100 likes. Surely that should be at least 100 likes by now. So get banging that like button. Harry Singh says his prediction is 1-1 for this game. So he's not predicting a Manchester United victory. And I predicted the same. On the full-time Devils preview because I do think this is going to be a difficult game. And I do think this game is more difficult than the Arsenal game, to be totally honest with you. And I'll tell you why I think this game is more difficult than the Arsenal game. I will tell you why I think this game is more difficult than the Arsenal game. The reason why I think this game is more difficult than the Arsenal game is simply because against Arsenal, we know what to expect from them. We know what to expect from Arsene Wenger, from their players, from Ozil, Sanchez, their best players, from their worst players. We know their weaknesses, we know their strengths. Yes, we know they can beat us on the day. Yes, we know they can cause us problems. Yes, we know they're beatable. Hopefully we can go in there with a tactic to win the game. But we know what to expect from Arsenal. We don't know what to expect from this Watford side. They've added some very good players to their team. The likes of Richarlison up top. Chalobah's in the ranks. You've got Cleverley, who's playing a lot better for them this season. They've got Marco Silva as manager now. Now, Marco Silva is an absolutely fantastic coach, fantastic manager. And he's got Watford in 8th position, I think it is, in the league. And Watford getting some very good results this season. Away from home, they beat Newcastle. They beat West Ham last time out as well, 2-0. So their last 2 games have won 5-0 on aggregate, conceding no goals. Now, before that, they lost against Everton, although they were winning that game, and they should have won that game against an Everton side that haven't won many of their games recently. They lost against Stoke at home, and they lost against Chelsea away. Again, another game that we were winning, and Chelsea came back to get them. So in the games that they've lost, they've been winning at some points, and they could have gone on to win those games, but they've been away from home. Now, if we let them take the lead against Manchester United, it's a difficult situation for the Reds because Watford are very, very good, and Marco Silva will be able to tactically probably shut up shop very quickly. So we've got to think about that as well. They have beaten Arsenal at Vicarage Road, but they've also lost at Vicarage Road 6-0 against Manchester City. And that's, of course, where we're going to be compared to them. Now, I would take a 1-0 win there, to be totally honest. I don't care what happened with Manchester City there. But I suppose that shows you the way that Manchester United have got to play against these guys. When they're coming up against us, if we're sitting back and, trying to hit them on the counter-attack, we're probably going to invite the pressure onto us. We're going to allow the Vicarage Road crowd to get up and get confident and to get buzzing. And once they get that, if they get a goal, it's going to get more difficult as the game goes on. So we've got to get at them. We've got to silence their crowd. We've got to make them doubt themselves. We've got to make Marco Silva make changes. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Jose Mourinho went with a different formation tomorrow. Maybe a 3-4-1-2 formation. You never know, Zlatan and Lukaku up top. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that kind of thing happen. Because Marco Silva very, very, very tactically astute. So, difficult game ahead, and I do think it's more difficult than that Arsenal game. Close to 100 likes now as well. So get banging that like button. I do need a little bit of a drink, so let me just have some of my juice. Teams like Watford play their cup final against United, says Jack Knopf. 5 points we will get in the next matches, says Harry Singh. So he thinks a win and 2 draws. Am I going to the game tomorrow? I will be at the game tomorrow. McTominay could start with Pogba, says Levi Whitfield. I doubt that's going to happen, mate. Not when we've got Matic. Not when we've got Fellaini back. Not when we've got Herrera. McTominay isn't going to start in this game. If he does, happy to be wrong, but I don't think he's going to start in this game. 3 matches, 4 points, says Sanjesh. So he thinks it's going to be a win, draw, and a defeat. Man like Moment is back in the house. Thank you for getting involved again, mate. United has no choice. This is a must-win. Come on, says Tian. Come on, United, says Tactical Show. What's up with Shaw, says Nityan. I'm not too sure, mate, if excuse the pun. But if I did know, I would let you know. Be positive, we can do this, Adam. It won't be easy, says Ronak. Fellaini hasn't travelled. Didn't know that. Fancam, says James. We need to buy... Come on, mate. 7 points, says Steve Ocko. Who do you prefer, Zlatan or Rom? I don't prefer either. I think they both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. I love Romelu Lukaku. I wanted Romelu Lukaku a season or 2 ago. I wanted him at Manchester United. So when we signed him this summer, it was a surprise to me. But it was a great surprise to me because I was buzzing to have him at the club. I don't like that people are writing him off already. I think he's an absolutely fantastic talent, and I think we need to stand by him. I want him to start this game too. Talking about who I want to start this game, I may as well get my predicted team up right about now. Funk Soul Brother. There it is as well. That is my predicted team for the game. Now, before I run through why I picked that team, you guys get in the comment section with your predicted lineup for this game. Who do you want to see Jose Mourinho pick for this match? Do you want to see Ashley Young keep his spot in the side? Do you want to see Blind play, Darmian play? Who do you want to see at centre half? Rojo and Bailey and Smalling. Who do you want to see at the back? Midfield. Do you want to see 3-man midfield, 4-man midfield? What do you want to see? So get your comments in the comment section below on what you think about that, and I'll tell you why I've picked who I have picked. So you can see David De Gea in goal, obviously. Come on, mate. Best goalkeeper in the world. Valencia at right back. Blind at left back. Rojo and Smalling at centre half. If Bailly's fit, I want to see Bailly and Rojo playing together. But Smalling's been in very good form. Lindelof played against Brighton, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep his spot in the team. But I would go with Rojo and Smalling if Bailly isn't available. Yes, Lindelof played well against Brighton. Potentially my man of the match. I think I gave him my man of the match. Although he was that, I'd like to think, I think Jose is going to go back to this. Wouldn't be surprised to see if Lindelof came back in for the game against Arsenal or even the CSKA Moscow game. So we'll be able to rotate things up as the weeks come ahead. Then I've got Matic and Pogba in the midfield, obviously. I've gone with Mata, Lingard, Martial and Romelu Lukaku. Now that's because I think Jose Mourinho won't want to rush Zlatan Ibrahimovic into starting games. I think he might have him in mind to start against Arsenal, and maybe he'll give him a goal from the bench again today. So I don't think Zlatan Ibrahimovic will start, and I think we'll go with maybe a change up, bring in Lingard for his defensive ability. I've gone with a change at left back. Now Rifleman says, what's my opinion on the left back situation? And where's FIFA Friday? I'll have some FIFA videos up for you this week, guys. I do apologise. Now, what's my opinion on the left back situation? Now, in terms of the left back situation, hold on a sec. In terms of the left back situation, it's disappointing that, look, with all I love Ashley Young. He's a great guy, fantastic little player. Obviously, you can tell though he's a winger playing at left back. He's playing out of position. Now, the reason you get performances from Ashley Young out of position is because you will always get a work rate. You will always get a commitment, a desire. Someone that wants to play for the shirt, wants to play every single game. So he puts his heart out on the pitch. But to have Ashley Young as our number one left back is not a great position to be in. And at this moment in time, I would say Ashley Young is our number one left back. Luke Shaw's only been able to get minutes in the Carabao Cup, hasn't got off the bench, or if he's been unlucky enough, he's been out of the team completely. And Darmian, Daley Blind haven't played well enough when they've been playing recently. So Ashley Young's at the top of the ranks. Reason I've gone with Daley Blind is because I think he's more defensively astute, and I think we need to have one eye defensively on this game. I think against Brighton, against Newcastle, Ashley Young and Valencia very rarely left the opposition's half. We had them pegged back for most of the game. They didn't really need to defend. Ashley Young did do a good job defensively at times against Knockout. There were also times when Knockout beat him too easily. But Ashley Young did show him onto his weaker foot. All that stuff he did well. But I feel that we need to have someone more defensively astute. Ashley Young can get caught out of position a lot. His pace will allow him to catch up, of course, and his commitment to get back will allow him to. You'll see him make a lot of last-ditch challenges, and I think in games like this we need to be switched on a little bit more. So I think we'll go with a more defensive-minded back four. But of course, Watford is Ashley Young's former club, so you never know. He could start this game. Declan says Darmian should start. Twanzebe at right back says Shriram. Blind is slow, put Shaw or Young, says Ronak. Jose has both his eyes defensively, not one, says Aditya. I'd play three in the middle versus Watford, says Spoon Dangler, maybe seen Fellaini. Or I know I said, and I've gone with this, like this is kind of like a team I would play. But as I said, I expect Fellaini or Herrera will come in. Do you think we'll sign Griezmann in the summer, says Mason? I hope so, I think so. Shaw's not fit in my eyes, says Jamie Dalton. What have you seen of him, mate, that we haven't? Can you let us know, please? The Watford fan channel says he would take Youngie back. Youngie's a fantastic player, man. I absolutely love him. And I'm glad that he's in a squad. I'm not one of these guys that doesn't want him to play for Man United at all. And I think in games at home, we can afford to play him at left back. But against the teams that have a little bit something about them going forward, I think it's a bit too much of a risk to take, especially away from home as well. But against his former club, Watford, Ashley Young could put in a performance. You know what players are like, so it's not a big deal if he starts. Ibra instead of Matat, says Juvenesh. Now, I did, of course, mention why I think that could possibly happen in this game as well. Zlatan Ibrahimovic's aerial presence, his physicality, his ability to bring the ball down and play. If you can imagine us getting the ball through Matic, Pogba, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, we can allow Lukaku, Martial, Rashford, Lingard, Mickey, whoever plays, to stretch the back four. He can win the flick-ons. He can bring the ball down, get the ball off to Pogba, get the ball off to those guys at the front. And we can really get at their back four. So I can see why he would play. Do I agree with Troops when he says that they'll batter us? Do I fucking heck? Arsenal, they could possibly beat us. They're not going to batter us. And I think we're favourites going into the game, but we're only favourites if we perform. We've got to perform in this game. It's as simple as that. We have to perform in this game. And we're coming up against a Watford side that are very good. As I've said, the likes of Richarlison, who's fantastic. I think Troy Deeney is available now after suspension. So Troy Deeney will be back. You look at their midfield, they got Zegala, who's in form, Decore, who's in form, Kabasele, centre-back, who's in form. And they're a side that is in form. They're a side that has a manager that knows how to get a trick out of these players. He plays 3-5-1-1. Richarlison just off Andre Gray. Could possibly just off Deeney in this game. You don't know what he's going to do. Will he bring on Deeney to allow someone to be used as a battering ram for our centre-halves? We've seen what Deeney could do against Arsenal. He could try and do that against us. But of course, we're not pussyholes like Arsenal. So they're not going to be able to bully us. If we get Rojo on him or Bailey on him or someone on him, they'll fuck him up. So that could work, but it also might not work against Man United. But that's a possibility for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see Deeney come straight back in for Gray. But Richarlison's an absolutely fantastic threat for them as well. And I think he's the big one for United to be watching because he could cause us problems. They've got Chalobah out as well. I think Cathcart, the former Manchester United player, is out too, as is Capoue. Cleverly could start for them, obviously, against Manchester United. And we once had high hopes of them. And he's coming up against United tomorrow. Obviously, didn't work out. AF says Zegala is a real threat. Agree. We are not in shape and lack confidence, but we must not be bullied, says Blade. And that's why I think Jose could possibly go with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, even though I have put Mata in my starting 11. Would you like Ozil in January? No. Bay is still injured, says Levi Whitfield. I'm not too sure whether he's travelled or not, but he should be back this week because he was supposed to be back for Brighton. And there's been no news of whether he's suffered a recurrence to his injury. So hopefully he'll come back. Spanish Tom. Yes, of course, you know. Maurice thinks United are going to get beat. Jose could park the bus given Watford. I don't think we'll be parking the bus. We can't be doing that. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. UK time tomorrow. And I will have live reaction for you from Vicarage Road. I'll be with the Cheeky Sport boys as well. So I'll try and get them on the channel. Will I get Juan Mata on the channel again? Who knows? Depends what result it is and how good of a move United players are in. If they sign some autographs for the boys, I think Mata signs autographs for people. Win, lose or draw anyway. But if they do that, then I'll be about. Managed to get them on the stream. Happy days for you guys. So make sure you're subscribing to Adam McKola TV for the live reaction from Vicarage Road tomorrow. If I get a match ticket, I'll also have a match day vlog for you as well. So make sure you're keeping it locked to the channel. Now, as I said, this is my predicted lineup. De Gea, Valencia, Rojo, Smalling, Blind. Then I've gone with Matic, Pogba, Mata, Martial, Lingard, Lukaku. The reason I picked Martial was because of the knock Rashford picked up. I would be surprised if Jose didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if Jose left Rashford out because of that knock that he picked up towards the end of the game. But of course, as I mentioned, Zlatan Ibrahimovic starting is a huge possibility for Manchester United. And him coming in for someone like Mata, you could maybe swap Mata with Lingard and take Lingard out for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Play Ibrahimovic just ahead of Matic and Pogba to bring in his physicality. That's a possibility too. So I don't mind either way. But guys, get your comments in. This is the last minute of the stream, so keep your comments coming in. I'll read some of your comments out now as well. But I am going to give you my prediction for this game. My prediction for this match is Manchester United to get a 1-1 draw at Watford. That's the prediction I'm giving, guys. I really don't think we'll win this game. Well, there's a possibility, actually. I think if anyone wins, it will be Manchester United. But I think Watford will be very, very well organised. I think they'll come out and prove themselves to be hard to break down. Under the floodlights at Vicarage Road, their fans are going to be well up for this. I hate these kind of games. We've got one eye on Arsenal and Manchester City coming up. We didn't play really well against Brighton. And to really get going again in what's going to be a difficult game will be hard. I hope Manchester United get a victory. And if we do, I think it'll be 2-1, 2-0, something like that. But I think it's going to be 1-1. Justin says, lol, no back three is better than a back two, says Chris. A. Hussein says 2-1, as does Shriram, as does Callum. They all say 2-1. We need a win, says Adam. We need a pacing at number 10. Jack Brown says Rashford wouldn't shout out FTD. He did, but it was as soon as the snap finished. Watford are a very good team, in fairness. 4-0 Watford, says Kai. It would be a nicked win, which doesn't feel like one, but it is. Problem will face the best team in Europe. Oh, God, fuck off. Fuck City, man. Let's not talk about City. Title challenge, no. 2-1 United, says Amal. 2-1, says James. Kane says 2-1 United. So we've got a little bit of positivity in there at the end, and I do thank you guys for that. But guys, you lot have been absolute legends, and this has been a really enjoyable preview stream. So thank you guys for all tuning in to Adam McKola TV. Whether you watch this live or you watch this back later on, thank you for getting involved. Remember to subscribe, like and share. We'll have reaction from Vicarage Road with the Full-Time Devils gang, and of course Cheeky Sport. Keep it locked, keep it live. I'm Adam McKola. I'm out of here.